Welcome, Cancer. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I have pulled for you the Lord of Cups, the King of Cups. This is describing a couple of different scenarios. One is a very significant relationship with perhaps a long-term partner, a long-term friend, where words are hardly necessary, where you have achieved a state of such simpatico that you are able to understand each other intuitively, communicate wordlessly, and support each other comprehensively in whatever way that means. This can be part of your role as a caretaker or the role of a caretaker in your life. It can absolutely be a spouse, a long-term spouse, most likely. This can also be an approach you take towards a group of intimates, family members with whom you have been in some kind of discussion about the way resources are shared among you. And as a result of the way things have evolved, you have accepted the inability of your partners or your family members, as an example, your team members, your group members, to truly understand the grace that you exhibit when oppressed, when limited, when restricted, when rejected. There is a feature of this particular group where your rejection has been consistent. And this is why I think about a family situation where we become inured to certain behaviors and attitudes from family members that we would never tolerate from people are not connected with. But your grace is something that is not understood. It is seen, it is recognized. And it's having a tremendous impact on members of this group, of this team, of this family. And it is drawing in advisement from those who are interested in knowing you better. And that is likely to be the children of your siblings, as an example, or maybe distant or extended family members that don't know you in the same way and have a fresher approach to interacting with you. But in both instances, words are inadequate to explain your sense of composure and grace and the inability of other team members to understand how you can have persevered throughout this kind of reserve, disinterest in you. This is a general reading, Cancer. It's not going to resonate for all of you. If you're interested in a reading, a personal reading, information for that is in the description box below. And thank you to all of you who connect with me that way. I really enjoy the energies that we exchange through readings, so I appreciate you. In the present, we have the Justice card, and how interesting that this appears to be the predominant feature of this attitude that you share in relationships, particularly significant, quite possibly long-term relationships. Yeah, I wouldn't say that you're getting the last laugh, but I would say that you are you are dignified in your response or even lack of a response. You don't need to express what you've gained despite their resistance to your receipt of any share of what you hold together and what was meant to be distributed in a particular way. There's something about your deeper understanding of the intention of the gift, the donation, the inheritance, the resource that you're in which you're able to penetrate to the giver's intention, understand the love that prompted the gift, and understand how deeply allied to that individual, if that's the source of this gift, that you experience. So you feel in many ways that despite being nickeled and dimed, perhaps about some aspects of the way that you have shared expenses, um, you know that you ultimately have received the greatest gift from this largesse. And that is going a long way to helping you have a sense of higher perspective over the way that you may have been treated by individuals on this team, in this group. This sense of always being censored, not taken seriously, not valued, not seen, um, but seen as a weakling, seen as inadequate in some way, has actually served to give you the greater sense of uh, uh, self acceptance, self love, self respect, something that is not obtained by everyone. It's certainly available to everyone, but it isn't the superficial vanity that other members may exhibit. In the past, the Four of Cups, I want to say that you had an expectation for a particular gift that you received, or perhaps, again, using an inheritance as an example can be valuable. I can extend that to describe your considering the offer that you received, considering your share or what you believed was the share that a group was to uh, divide amongst themselves. And you have instead, by simply practicing uh, and aligning yourself with your wishes, particularly as you understood the wishes of um, the donor, the gifter. It can be a loved one, a parent, a sibling, a boss, someone significant in your life, perhaps an authority figure, that by aligning yourself with what you understood were their intentions, you actually ended up shaping your share into something that was of value to you, something that was a match to who you were. It was what you needed. And this is consistent with a longer range practice of simply choosing, identifying and choosing those relationships, those resources that match you, that are not uh, buying into any illusion or any uh, artificial construct of what a family or what love or what family members are supposed to look like, how they behave towards one another. And not receiving what you expected, you simply have learned to manifest something better for yourself. And this is your own magical gifts, understanding that your intentions frame uh, what you're able to create. In the future, the Five of Jades is describing perhaps the way that this inheritance or largesse, the receipt of this money helps you to break out of a box that you've been in. This gift helps you to break apart the label that you have received, um, and the lane that you were assigned. You have been liberated from some limited path that was prescribed for you. And you are experiencing your life as limitless in many ways. You are experiencing things perhaps others didn't believe you would or could experience. And this is taking you out of a place of feeling restricted, limited, um, held back, or restrained in some way. You're changing the way that you relate to your material environment. You're understanding it as abundant, and you are enjoying your life from that perspective rather than perhaps the perspective you grew up with, that many of us did, the a sense of not enough, quite not enough, always more that was desired. I believe you've transformed that a while ago, and you have been working on it through this process of readjusting your relationship to family members, if that's the scenario. Whatever the scenario is, you have blown apart the idea that you are limited because of your limited resources. If this reading is resonating for you, Cancer, please like this video, please share this with others, and please subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. It is greatly appreciated. It helps me continue to give free readings, and I feel the support in whatever way you give it to me. And the card I pulled is the friendship card. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. And this is beautiful because something about your energy resonates with your phenomenal empathy, which draws in your um, uh, relationships that are an appropriate match for you. Your relationships, your friendships are cultivated by you. There is an eternal quality about your sense of empathy and humor, good humor, your positive approach, your honesty in calling a spade, that has created friendships not only out of your lovers or spouses, but your friends have endured. The love that you express in the care that you give to your friends is something that is unforgettable, and you've touched a lot of people through the friendship that you offer. You are truly one of a kind in this regard. In the present, the Justice card is clarified by the Queen of Wands and the King of Swords. Interesting. So I see you balancing out different aspects of yourself in your uh, interaction with relationships been that have not served you well, that have not accepted you, that have not taken you seriously. And one part of you is able to recognize your truth in a challenging situation. Perhaps your truth that despite appearances, you have a strength, you have a conviction, you have a commitment to justice or fairness that is not shared. And there's also a part of you that completely uh, resonates with the beauty, the warmth, the joy, the positive energy that you feel, the ability to be caring and attentive to others, that gives you a lot of confidence, enlarges your energy and your aura so that you come across as someone who knows what they want and is determined to achieve that. This is something that may spark a little envy and jealousy among those that have particularly denied you in some way in the past. How you somehow have this regal grace, despite the fact that you're not getting any help from them. They're not encouraging you, supporting you, accepting you, and yet you maintain this poise and grace that is probably quite infuriating to those who have had difficulty really recognizing your value or who you truly are. In the past, the Four of Cups is clarified by the Knight of Cups and the Five of Wands. Yeah, I do feel like the story here is very specific. I do feel like you have tried to intervene in group negotiations and discussions with team members or family members, coming from the heart, coming from the place of expressing your feelings and your emotions, your deep tie or bond perhaps to the values or the principles involved. There's something very tender about your support of not only someone perhaps who passed and left the inheritance, and to the needs of the individuals in the group, no matter how much you may disagree with them. You are still considerate, you are still empathetic. And this is another quality of your ability to remain dignified throughout a very sometimes hurtful, in fact, completely hurtful interaction. In the future, the Five of Jades is clarified by the King of Wands, the Knight of Wands. These cards are so thick. And the Four of Wands. Yeah, on the other side of it, you've built something really solid and beautiful in your relationship, in your friendships with your spouse or long-term partner, with your lovers. You have celebrated the growth that you have sustained throughout your friendships, your relationships, your life, and you have agreed solidly on the commitment to sharing what you've learned with one another in a safe space and celebrating that. You're all about the celebration, as always, in the most dignified, subtle ways, but you take every opportunity to sing the praises of those you love. And this, again, is a quality that just shines through your reading, and is really what makes you a absolutely unique individual and a highly valued friend. I'm going to finish up this reading with a crystal oracle. And just a warning, these are a little cheeky, a little irreverent. And I've pulled the amber. And the mantra is recharge your good vibes. And who needs amber? Tree people, old souls, anyone gearing up for a long, dark winter. Where to put amber? Any room you want to convert into a sunroom. When to use amber? When you need a metaphysical hug from the universe, call on amber's cuddly electric blanket vibes and cozy up. Thank you, Cancer. Until next time, namaste.